back to Dabbling Dads with your host Kyle and Tyler, here to dabble into just about anything. You can find us everywhere using the hashtag Dabbling Dads. Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoy.
Alright, dude, well, we've already dabbled for about 45 minutes before we ever hit the button, so I figured might as well just hit play and come on with it, so.
I know, you threw me off guard, that's why. I've been putting the pictures at the beginning and not us just sitting here. But anyway, so there's the thumbnail for Honey, I Blew Up the Bathroom, which is coming out tonight.
Incredible, yes. Our buddy Levi with Whiskey Bros.
Yeah.
By the time you're listening to this, you would have already seen the first part of that one. We, what I would say by pure definition, dabbled that night and got a little away from ourselves, but it's going to be a two-parter and a good one. So
yeah, 5 hours. But anyways, man, what's up? What's going on?
Not much, dude. Still working alone by myself over there in that building. Well, me and Pops, me and my dad are working alone.
So now y'all both are in that alone. Did they do that on purpose because y'all are kind of like same household, or is it just the way it fell out?
I mean, it's either they did that or because Blake was like, I won't send,
Probably because y'all both are good workers, though, always.
I mean, that's a lot of it. They know we're going to be at work. They need someone over there. Like, they got to have an operator over there.
It's
so
less
they know we're
monitored.
going to be there. No monitoring, pretty much.
So that's why they sent you over there, because you're actually going to do it.
That's true.
So it's giving you the opportunity. So we've talked so much now, man, about so many hours. But like Ready Player One, you're reading the book.
Well, I'm not actually reading the book. I'm listening to the book, which is, I mean, me and you've already talked about this, but I'll explain it again. Like, since I've already seen the movie, it's sort of like I am reading because the guy's telling it, but I'm visualizing as if I was reading the book because it's a different story than what Spielberg put on film. It
so
is
kind of
a lot
like the
different.
Characters. You already picture the characters.
The characters are the same, like the same
Names.
characters, same.
But you visualize, like when I read a book, sometimes the beginning of the book. They describe what the character looks like, all that, but you already know when they talk about Percival, you have him pictured in your head. So even though it's a different story, but you're seeing this same character kind of do these adventures. So like,
and it's
say
weird.
how you're listening to it though, because that's.
It's let me pull up the app. It is called Libby, I believe, Libby, and if you have a local library in your town, you can go up there, get the library card, which I believe I know it's free in our town. Like it's costs nothing. You can get on the app. I'm obviously listening to Ready Player One. I've got an hour and 15 to go, 92% done with the book. So it was 15 hours long. That's one thing about it. It's 15 hours, but I've been by myself. I have a Bluetooth speaker on my forklift. OSHA, if you're listening, I work at Aldi in Mount Juliet, Tennessee. Anyways.
Dude, but it's like playing music over the intercom at Kroger. Is like, what?
It's very similar. I mean, they had music playing every day.
I mean, not loud. I'm talking about as far as music being distraction. And I want to
it's
come
not
back
a
to
distraction.
this.
It helps me focus, man, on what I'm doing. It keeps me very focused on what I'm doing, having it playing.
So I'm going to go down a science tangent, but we're going to stay right on this.
Yeah.
It's kind of like every time I picture that in my brain now, I picture Doc in Back to the Future 3 when he's explaining the time and it's on the chalkboard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
That is the third one.
Yeah, so I want to stay on the actual real time, but this science part of that, actually, I've learned in the classroom, which is probably, I wish I documented all of this like a real scientist, but it's in my head formatively. But when you're listening to music, right?
Yeah.
It is music going on, but it's in a pattern. You now are listening to music and focusing on a task. The only distraction to that task is the music or the book, right? When none of that is playing, someone who has in my opinion, a high-functioning brain that some people define ADHD or whatever. I think your brain is just high-functioning. So what happens is distractions are okay. The problem is when the distractions take you off of that task. So when music happens, now you only have one distraction, your task and the music or the book you're listening to. Where when you're not listening to that in your ear, you might hear a conversation over here. You might hear a bird outside. You might see a different box. Where when you're listening to that music, it's one distraction compared to thousands of distractions, which allows you to stay more focused on your actual task. And I let kids listen to music.
I think there is an actual study, but like back in my area, in the building I usually work in, does not have music. But up in the front where people were like picking small orders and building these orders by hand and shipping them out and whatnot, they've got music playing up there because they found it to be more productive. So I'm sure they found the science that did that. But anyways,
dude, just one more example. At my house, when I get to cleaning, I just listen to podcasts, put it in my pocket. Before I know it, I've cleaned the whole house. It's only been 45 minutes.
Mowing the grass, same way.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
But Libby, it's also a free app. I came in here. As soon as I saw Ready Player One, that was the one I got. My buddy Taylor, who I've talked about before, also. My dad said I said his Twitch name too fast last time I talked about him, but it is literally Taylor, Taylor, all lowercase letters. He's on Twitch. Got a decent following. He told me I should read the book last time he was in town. We were just talking about movies and stuff in this podcast and different things, and he's like, hey, you read the book? And I was like, I haven't read the book. He said, you've got to read the book. So as soon as I saw it on there, I got it. But like I talked to you last night, The Shining's on here, which I've heard the book is much better than Stephen King, like he hates the movie The Shining, which is weird. That's his like least favorite adaptation of a film is The Shining, which is the next one I would like to do. But they're all free, the audio books. I don't know about length on all of them. Like I said, this one was 15 hours and it gave me 15 days to listen to it. So I'm guessing it gives you like an hour a day.
Can you make like a waiting list and you're waiting in line to room?
Yes, you can get on them. But the first book I tried to get was, dang man, I can't remember. It's a recent book. It was on like the main page. And I wanted to pick on it. It was like, you have to wait like 366 days to get this book. And I was like, I'll go get a different book. I'm not waiting that long for a book. Because there's that long of a waiting list on the audiobook.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Man.
But it's pretty cool. It's a cool app. Libby, Libby. We're always promoting people on here. We don't get paid shit. We're stupid as hell.
No, it's just how you got to do it, man.
Yeah, it's just stuff we enjoy, and I think other people would enjoy also. That's the reason I do it. I'm not really trying to promote anybody, honestly, for any kind of game, more than just, hey, this is cool, I enjoy it, you should go check it out.
Yep.
I hope that's how people are taking it when we say that. We're not...
That's why we're dabbling. We're not necessarily experts on anything.
No.
We know a little bit about a lot. We switch it on our Twitter.
Experts on nothing.
That's right. We're good at knowing a little bit. I always say what I say was interneting a long time ago. Like you cast out this thing, and this person's an expert in movies. This person's an expert in music.
And if you don't know, you know someone who does know.
That's right. So I just gotta know enough to get them to dabble or expand into their vast knowledge because they've watched hundreds of things about it.
Yeah.
And not to get into today's time, but that's what I feel like the opposite is happening right now, just with media and things that are being portrayed is not what's actually happening. But I don't want to get into that yet because I do want to talk about the Hunger Games and books and movies. Because we've talked about video games and movies, and now I don't want to go into it today because I don't know enough off the top of my head.
Oh, God, we could talk forever.
But like everyone says the books are better, and I agree. But it's hard to sit down and read a book.
It is.
Today's time. Like, we're always on the go. We always got this. I mean, it's hard to find time to do that. But the Hunger Games, I remember reading those books. And earlier, when we were just talking, you said that the cast, or you already knew who the actresses and things were.
They had already started filming the first movie that's how I heard that it was a book series, is because of IMDb. So, yeah, they had already put the cast out in the pre-production stuff. So I knew who was playing each character when I started reading them.
Yeah, see? And that's where the curse sometimes of knowing every actress and actor gets you, because I had no idea when you suggested to me to read those books. I had no idea who Lawrence was.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Lawrence, no idea. So as I read the books, I just kind of pictured my own person. But I thought the movies did a good job of casting because it was kind of how I pictured the people.
The one mistake they made when making those movies, I don't know why. I guess because the production companies probably don't have the money, but like I think off the money that Peter Jackson made off, because I think he was already filming it. But he filmed all three of the first Lord of the Rings, and then he did The Hobbit the same way, all at the same time. They were all filmed over like a 6-year time period, I believe. That's how long it took. Maybe longer than that, but
just a creative mind.
Yeah, he made them all at the same time. I don't know why they would not, like something like the Hunger Games. It's like, guys, this is like money right here. Let's take our time and let's do it right. I know that people want it right now, but if we do it right, I think if they did it, they still made a shit ton of money. Let's not kid ourselves. But if they would have done it, in a different form on the first one, because the first one just didn't allow you to get inside Katniss Everdeen's head like the book did.
Exactly. Pull up her IMDb because a movie popped in my head. It's like a scary movie that she's in. It's pretty good. I just want to see if I can remember what it was. But anyways, I'm not explaining that yet. I want to talk about Hunger Games still, because exactly what you just said. The first movie, if you hadn't read the book, it was so slow and terrible.
Yeah.
When in the book, you know, when she's just sitting there and she's with the little girl True or whatever, and there's so much going on in her head and that she's calculating who's still alive, and they just assume that you would know that.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I was teaching literature at this time, and that was the book that we chose, and it had lessons to go along with it.
Awesome.
It was like a new book, and then it was like the thing.
Yeah,
man.
it was awesome. Dystopian future, which seems to be the big kick. People like want the dystopian future. That crazy.
Once again,
that's what's going to end up happening.
I reference the Capitol all the time.
Jennifer Lawrence. I'm not gonna branch off too far either. Sort of like you did on Science. We're gonna stay on that. But I watched X-Men First Class last night, which is super underrated, dude. It's got Kevin Bacon. First off, we want to tie Kevin Bacon in. He's in the movie. Jennifer Lawrence.
The same guy we talked about.
Yes.
With the guy who's in Split.
Michael Fassbender and James McAvoy's who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Dude, it's an underrated cast, dude. Like
that's the first X-Men First Class. That's
when
movie
they
that was
after. Well, they did X-Men Origin or Wolverine, X-Men Wolverine Origins or what X-Men Origins Wolverine or whatever that was. That was like the first one. But this was the one where they did the full cast and they were all young. And it is great, dude. Like at the very beginning when Kevin Bacon, she's a Raven, but Mystique. She plays. Raven is who she is in these movies still. Yes. But she's incredible. I also watched Dark Phoenix, the newest X-Men with Sansa Stark. What's her name? Sophie Turner is in it. Plus the kid from Ready Player One is in it. All this stuff right here is just tying all these actors right now. It's unreal. I'm looking. It's like every person I'm seeing right now is tied into something I'm watching or doing or seeing right now. It's craziness, but.
Yes,
when you become aware of those type things, you realize this is the future that these like. I truly believe that Michael Fassbender is one of the best actors alive right now. He's really good. Magneto, the guy that plays Magneto.
Okay, yeah.
He's in Prometheus. We've talked about him a couple times too. He plays the guy that looks human but is actually a robot on the ship.
Yes.
Yes, Michael Fassbender. He's incredible. He was in Assassin's Creed. He was the guy who played the guy in the Assassin's Creed movie. But anyways, back to Jennifer Lawrence.
Dude, gosh. Now that I just went through the movies, the movie that I was thinking of that was a scary movie was The House on the End of the Street. I don't know if you ever saw that.
I don't think I have.
Well, here, I know we do a thing, right? Where we read it.
Yeah, read the
Where's
synopsis
that
to
part
me.
at?
Are you on IMDb?
Yeah, but I'm not on the app.
I can pull it up real quick. What's it called?
The House at the End of the Street. So I remember going to the movie
it's
theaters
an
and
old
seeing
one.
this. It's like 2012 horror mystery. I don't know what it is in reference to the Hunger Games.
House at the End of the Street. It came out, let's see. So Hunger Games was 2012. Silver Linings Playbook was 2012. House at the End of the Street 2012. She killed it that year, apparently.
Yeah. So she was killing it in 2012, Jennifer Lawrence. But before we go on, I want to go back to like Ready Player One and how the stories are different but the same.
Okay. It's laid out the same. It's the same premise. There's a game that everyone, living in. I think he said it's 2070 is when it's going on, something like that. 2070 something. Everyone's playing it. It's the same type deal. They're trying to get what this guy left behind. For them. Yeah. Let me pull up. Real quick.
So, at the end, the thing that I thought was interesting whenever you were just telling me about it not too long ago that I want you to share with everyone, is at the very end of the movie, spoiler alert if you haven't been there, is, they have to, play an old game, and I cannot remember what it is off the top of my head right now, but they were playing, an old arcade game, and you said that almost every level they have to play, an arcade game or something, right?
Yeah, the arcade games are involved in the end of, the first one is Joust. He has to fight, he's in a big labyrinth-type maze. He gets to a part where he thinks he's going to have to fight, the dungeon troll or whatever it is, and he gets up, the troll gets up off of his throne, and the throne becomes an arcade game, Joust. And it's the same way he helps the girl. In the movie, they're in that race, and the girl sees him go backwards and then win Parzival.
And then they all start doing it.
Correct. So then they learn. So he teaches her, actually. He plays the guy and he beats him on the first time. He's like, man, I'm playing him on the right. I'm used to playing on the left side of the machine. So he asked him, do you care if I play on the left side of the machine? And the thing is, part of the game, that's the trick. You can't let him play on the left side because he'll beat you every time type deal. Because they're different. One you're on an ostrich, and the other one you're on something else. So they did that. So he tells the girl, because he's got a crush on her just like in the movie. So it's a little different, just like any book. There's a lot more detail, obviously, than the movie. I think Spielberg did a good job of making it current. there's a lot of throwbacks in this that I know, because of my dad, but some people may not know that, don't have a dad that's my age. Who this guy's nostalgia was like late 70s, 80s type stuff. That's what all the throwbacks are to, pretty much. They do talk about some more current things like Lord of the Rings movies. They talk about the one guy, the character, he was played by Simon Pegg.
Talking about the movie right
Ogden.
now?
Yeah. He was his like right hand man, the guy who created it. Halliday, which his guy was Anorak, the big bearded wizard that handed out the keys and whatnot. He's the guy that dies. His partner was Simon Pegg, this guy right here. He played like his partner who ends up helping them.
Yeah.
He also is the voice for like the curator, the robot that walks him through the stuff and takes him and helps him find
yes,
clues.
yes.
He's the voice for that guy also. But in this one, they go to a land that looks like I'm thinking Arendelle because my freaking son watches Frozen, but that's not what it's called. Where the elves live in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking
They have a whole
about.
land. This guy created it for his wife. You can create anything in the Oasis. So they just go into like immense detail on these different worlds and lands and what they have. And at this movie, it talks about them, but it's like the quick run through at the very beginning. It talks about all the different planets. This one goes into like immense. It's 15-hour long book.
I know, and it makes me wonder now, or maybe it's just because of what we've been doing and I've just learned so much about movies, but like movies was a quick buck off of books that is a long book, because people can go for an hour and a half and spend an immense amount of money to watch a movie and just accept that as the character arcs and things like that. Was I entertained? Was I not entertained?
Yep.
And then when you read the book, you get all of those great details and like better stories, like the joust. Like, I love getting fooled. So I would love a series of Ready Player One.
Yeah,
like,
that
instead
would
of
be cool.
making the movie, each episode could be getting one of the keys from the book.
Yeah,
and
this could have been an incredible HBO series.
you could just make it a true character arc. I feel like it's better that way. I feel like that's why Stranger Things. But then, like you even say, sometimes they have all the source material and then they don't use it all.
Yeah.
Because it's
Star
the quick
Wars,
buck.
the new Star Wars are a prime example of that.
Third season of Stranger Things, I feel like, is, if you want to compare it to just
I
how the
loved
character...
it.
I loved all of it, but it's like, I still feel like if you just knew that it could not go on forever, but if, let's say not Stranger Things, not a book, I guess, but like that Ready Player One, if you could literally break that down as each level being an hour-long episode...
You could probably make 5 seasons out of it, easy.
And I would watch every single one.
Well, they would probably make 3 because the way the book is read, let's say, chapter 1, or level 1, chapter 1, and then level 2, chapter whatever. There's 3 levels of the book, so they could... That would be sick. If they did like 3 seasons, and that would be sick. Maybe we need to just write that and pitch it.
All right, so my now that I'm thinking about this, my uncle, which is my dad's brother, who's a very intelligent man, his son actually writes scripts and things like that, and he moved to Nashville to do commercials and all of these things. So I don't know if you just pitch people ideas and it's like, hey, forget like writing about winter scenes and stuff like that.
That's just something that's already been done that no one's thinking about.
Yeah.
It's already been done, but people are still going to watch it. You put the series on HBO called Ready Player One, it's going to get a lot of freaking views.
I like the way
if
you
do
said
it right.
level one. If, like, well, I don't understand why you're just not allowed to take the book and be like, we're going to make this into a movie now. It was CG. It's like,
See, I'm guessing the publishing company has the rights to it, so I'm guessing they can sell it to whoever they want. Like Zack Snyder, I don't know how he's able to sell his cut of,
I don't know.
what's it called?
I know,
HBO?
it's just so many legal little things. It's like, not this movie, but we talk about Batman Forever sometimes, and it makes me think of some of those video games that it's just crazy how it all crashes together. But it's like when you're renting video games, you rent the movies to video games because you kind of know what the story already is, and you don't want to keep that
That's what
game.
we always rented.
Yes, so it's like that same concept. It works perfect for video games in its little niche time. To me, now we should take books that take 15 hours for people, and people will binge them as series shows instead of movies coming out. Because no one's going to theater anymore. It's like, I feel like that is a special little thing. So if anybody's listening to this and they're good at things like that and want to somehow,
or if you live
make it
somewhere where
happen,
you are in that realm and can have someone that is influential in that area, why is that not being done? I guess
you've always wanted to write a movie.
I mean, it sort of is Watchmen, which is me and my dad have talked for a long time about ideas about a screenplay and whatnot. It's just so hard. There's so many ideas are taken. To come up with a truly original idea, like, it's hard to do, man. I'll tell you who's doing it best is Jordan Peele, the guy from Key and Peele that's doing those horror movies. He did Get Out, Us, and now he has the new Candyman movie that's coming out. He did also, so Candyman's not an original idea, but his first two movies were very original, like horror/thriller movies. They were really good, and that's
I thought
rare.
The Quiet Place was very original.
Dude, John Krasinski wrote that. The dude from The Office, the guy that plays the husband in it, and his wife Emily Blunt, are the two that play in the movie. Yeah, they're married in real life. He wrote that, directed it. It makes it so much more impressive when you think of that. The dude from The Office. I don't watch The Office, so I don't know his name. People are going to hate me for that.
I don't know. We had a Dundee here last.
Yeah, we did. Levi would have been the guy to ask. It's Pam, and what's Pam's boyfriend's name?
John.
I don't think so.
John Krasinski.
Yeah, whoever he plays is. I don't know his name.
Either.
Something in Pam. I don't know. I don't watch The Office.
It doesn't matter.
Not my kind of humor. But anyways, yeah, you're right. That's like an original idea. That's few and far between nowadays. I feel like everything's a remake. Everything's what do they call it? Reboot. You know, like.
And then for a little while it was like prequels. Prometheus.
They can't do anything. I mean, I like the fact that Disney created a streaming service where they can go make these movies into Disney Plus films. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like that. People are like, oh, another remake of Peter Pan. It's like, dude, I can't wait to see what they do with the live action Peter Pan. Like, and Disney actually do it. Disney has never truly done a live action Peter Pan, ever.
No,
so
you're
it'll
right.
be Disney's first time ever doing it. They've cast Peter Pan and Wendy. I don't know the kid, the son, but this will be a cool tie-in for stuff we've talked about. Mila Jovovich, Resident Evil girl, also Fifth Element girl. Her daughter is playing Wendy in the film.
Really?
Yes, her daughter also is in the last Resident Evil as her daughter in the movie.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
How they just all those movies. It's just like a little.
Well, you know the
club.
female in the third season of Stranger Things that works at it's not called Chips Ahoy, but Ships Ahoy or
I know
whatever.
I know the girl.
The one that can speak Russian. That's Uma Thurman's daughter. Uma Thurman's daughter. While we sit here, and I can't remember who her dad is.
Don't crack me up. People who know movies. Like when they said Alicia Silverstone, we're talking about. Man, I don't know who that is, but that's Clueless, girl.
Yeah, same girl. Same girl. I gotta find out who who that girl's dad is. He's an actor also. I want to say Ethan Hunt, but I'm not sure if that's right. I'm gonna say it because I'd like to be right when I look it up, but I may be
Ethan
wrong.
Hunt. I always think of Mission Impossible.
Let's see, what was her name?
Isn't Tom Cruise's character's name Ethan Hunt in Mission Impossible?
Ethan Hawke is her dad.
Ethan Hunt is Mission Impossible. I
Ethan
think.
Hunt. So I was on the right. Ethan Hunt is Mission Impossible. I think you're right. But Maya Hawke, that's her and Ethan Hawke. You know who Ethan Hawke is?
No, I'm sure I know who he is. I'm sure I know what movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you.
I threw a below my brown. I love it.
Training Day.
Oh.
Yeah. I think
He's a handsome man.
Yeah. What else was he in?
He looks like the guy off of where they interviewed Kim Jong-un with Seth Rogen.
Training Day is the main
not
movie
him.
I've seen him in. He's in the first Purge. That's right.
But he looks like the guy who's the funny guy.
In what?
Who's in Pineapple Express with Seth Rogen. He's also...
Oh, he does sort of look like...
Jeff Franco. Is that his name?
What'd you call him? Joe Franco?
Jeff Franco.
Jeff Franco? No, I think that's like a baseball player. Oh, God, what's his name, man?
You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
He's in
James Franco. You
James
were close.
Franco.
God, I couldn't think of it because I was thinking his little brother.
When I say the wrong name, but it's the same letters, it like blocks your
Dave
brain.
Franco is his little brother, so...
So a movie that I just watched with the boys as well, since we've been on this video game kick, because I had never seen it, was Robin Williams' birthday came up in this past week. Mm-hmm. So in honor of Robin Williams, I did not watch a Robin Williams film, but I did watch Jumanji 2.
Oh, okay. The most recent...
The most recent Jumanji's, the one where it's like a video game, and then
Oh, so Jumanji Into the Jungle.
I haven't seen the newest one yet.
So you watched Jumanji Into the Jungle?
The first one with The Rock.
Yes.
Yes, and Kevin Hart.
The one where they go in the video game. That movie's fun.
Dude, that movie is awesome. And how they set it up where they go into the video game is cool. And they're like in detention. And then, see, I didn't know that a female actually became Jack Black.
Yeah.
He plays
He cracks me up. He plays that character so well. It's funny as hell.
like, where is my phone? There's so much
And the little
comedy in that.
sissy is The Rock, and the big buff guy is Kevin Hart. It's funny, dude.
Dude, it is one of the
And
funniest
then the
movies.
nerdy guy plays the hot girl that turns into the hot girl.
Yes, right, I'm telling you, it must have been right in Mason's, understanding the jokes.
He was
range.
laughing hysterically.
Dude, it was fun to watch it just with him.
To hear him laugh?
Yeah, but we
Yeah, I
watched it
love
with
that.
all of us, and the boys watched it. It was, man, it was a funny ass
I looked
movie,
at the second one today to buy on Vudu, and it is still $20. How's it still $20 to buy? I don't understand. I really don't. But
So that's between me and you. I rent. And
well,
so
I would
you
rent
gotta
it. It's not
purchase.
available for you. You got to purchase it on Vudu right now, and I'm just not doing it. I'll wait for it to come on HBO, man. Watch that shit.
But that
for free.
cast, can you name everyone in that?
Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Kevin Hart, Jack Black, Nick Jonas.
I didn't know that's who that was.
The girl, I don't know the girl's name, man.
The girl is Karen Gillan, is the one that I think is.
Pull up what
Ruby.
else she's been in.
Let me see.
She
Dude,
reminds me of the Scarlet Witch from the Avengers movies,
this
but
is the
that's
one
not
that
her.
becomes the Ruby. Whatever.
What's her name?
I love how they set it up, though. It was a good movie, man. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I want to see the second one so bad.
Selfie, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians.
She's Nebula.
Oh, Nebula. That's why she looks so familiar. I had the same movie. I knew she reminded me of someone from them damn movies.
Yep.
Okay.
She is Nebula. I don't
Okay.
think any of these other.
She was in Stuber. I started to watch that. That's got Dave Bautista in it. He like gets in an Uber with this guy and ends up tying in the little Indian Uber driver with him in this big
The Circle.
chase. I fell
never
asleep,
saw it.
but yeah. Anyways, Nebula. She's funny in that movie too. The whole movie's funny. I got to see the second one. They said it's better. The second one has Danny DeVito and who was the coach from Angels in the Outfield?
Morgan Freeman. Daniel Glover.
Danny Glover. That's
Lethal
correct.
Weapon.
Danny Glover. That's 100% correct. Danny Glover.
I'm on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Hanks.
Danny Glover.
Is
and,
he in that movie? Lethal Weapon. Tom Hanks.
Mm-mm.
Who's the other?
Mel Gibson.
Damn it! I was so
Yeah.
close, man.
Yeah, very
I was
close.
on a roll there for a second.
Yeah, you got a little too arrogant.
Just kidding. Well, I don't know shit about actors and what movies they're in. I
Oh
think it's
no, that's
really
sort of become our little stick is how bad can Tyler fuck up actors tonight. Let's see. Yeah, and this next one, I thought it had those guys. Yeah, Danny DeVito, Danny Glover. Yep, it looks hilarious. Looks pretty funny.
God, Angels in the Outfield.
And Colin Hanks is in it also, which is Tom Hanks' son.
We're definitely doing that, by the way, too. We're going to start doing some sports movies as just part of one of the main.
Well, sports are coming. I mean, I wore this for a reason. The Braves play today.
Yeah, what's
Season
up?
opener, 3 o'clock
Who do
today.
they play?
So I think they play the Mets.
The Mets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I watched the opening night last night, and the Yankees were in a rain delay. So the boys want to watch some baseball, so we watched the Giants and the Dodgers. And there were just two things that stuck out just so we know what kind of time we're in. And sometimes we do that too, just so everybody knows, like, we're going to talk a little bit about current times. So
Yeah,
we can go back and know what's going on. But, you know, they had the ceremony, and I, like, texted you about it. It was kind of crazy to me. They all had masks on. I'm pretty sure all these people have been tested.
Yeah, they have.
Like, so they all know that they don't have it. So I guess it was symbolism, but they got on a knee. There was a black sash around. They had a BLM on the mound instead of MLB. So, you know, they were just kind of all in support of that, which
And I'm
is
cool
their
with-
own right to do so. in
Yeah,
my
I'm
opinion.
cool with
I mean,
it,
it's,
man. Yeah.
It's whatever. I mean, if you don't want to watch that part, then change the channel.
Yeah, don't
Because
watch
I
it.
want to see the balls being pitched.
But that's about as if people want peaceful protest, that's about as peaceful as it gets, man. They aren't hurting nobody. They aren't tearing nothing up. They're making their stance. They're using their platform, and I don't have a problem with it. I know some people do. I personally do not have a problem with it. Like, it was interesting to see like the links they went. The Big Green Monster in Boston had Black Lives Matter painted across the entire thing. Like,
It's
so they're making a stand. I mean, and I'll stand with you if we're gonna do it the right way. That's how I feel about
Yeah,
it.
so we watched the game. Dodgers-Giants. The Dodgers pitcher, he had huge hair, but it was supposed to be, you know, Kershaw.
Red-haired Andrew Taylor.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Kershaw. It wasn't Kershaw. But something else that was interesting is they had cardboard people. Did you get to actually watch any of it?
Yes, Tyler. I know where you were tying the Hunger Games and Jennifer Lawrence into.
Yeah.
Was this right here?
Yes.
Perfect. We rolled back to it.
Because it's
naturally.
like the capital. We live in the capital, pretty much.
Yeah. We sort of do right
Getting
now.
there.
We're not killing each other yet.
No, but it's like there's fake cardboard people, and I didn't
They're
research
pumping
it.
in. They're pumping in stadium
music.
sound.
It's like I don't know, like if people bought those seats to do that and to like go for fundraiser. Like I would like to look that up. I didn't have time to go into that. I probably should have, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. And then the other thing that I thought was interesting was the Dodgers lineup. When they first showed the lineup, I was like left, right, left, right, left, right, and I was like, Their lineup is crazy. And then they said the new rule about relievers can only come out, they have to face at least 3 batters. So you can't just bring a lefty out to face a lefty or whatever. So they got to face 3 batters. So the Dodgers are setting it up, left, right, which is a good idea. And I think it's going to make the game go by faster when you change pitchers every
Yeah,
batter.
he's got to come out there and get his throws in. I've sat through many live baseball games, man, and yeah, that takes forever when you get to the end of the game and it's close.
Yeah, and I thought originally all baseball was going to take place in one place, but I guess it's taking place at the stadiums everywhere but Toronto. I guess
they're playing in Buffalo, New York.
Yeah.
So.
But basketball, I don't want to leave baseball, but just in that instant, basketball, they're all playing in one place.
Yeah, they're playing in the bubble.
Is there how many courts are on that? Do you know?
I think there's 4 total courts. There may be 8. Maybe it's 2 sets of 4. But I saw the picture I saw was 4 courts.
It's like an NBA AAU tournament. Pretty
exactly
much
what it is.
But the other thing about the baseball game, and this is the part where it's hard for me to just sit down and watch baseball anyways, unless it's really good pitchers. But the coaches left their masks on the whole time. One of them took it down when he was doing his interview or whatever. But, in my own brain, it's just like everyone is there tested. Like, I feel like this is a safe environment that y'all are in. There's not anyone there, so I would prefer to watch your mouth move. Like, my wife, she the death of my wife, dude, because she's got to look at your mouth because she needs closed captions for real life. And with people wearing a mask, she just ain't going to be able to understand what anybody's saying.
No. It's going to be hard.
It's crazy. So basketball, they're in the bubble. You saw me, LeBron James, with the gray beard.
Yeah, I told you that. So how you go into quarantine, come out, and all of a sudden you got a gray beard? He's also got more hair than he had when he left. It's crazy. He was bald 3 years ago.
He's been doing that anger management Jack Nicholson shit. You know what I'm talking about, where he has like the electromagnetic thing.
Whatever it is he's doing. I don't know. I'm excited about the Braves. They got Acuna at the leadoff spot, so hopefully he goes yard right off the bat. That'd be really fired up for baseball, and he's the type of player that can do it and probably will do it. We'll see. But
who do they play?
they play the Mets.
The Mets, man. I haven't been keeping up with any sports.
I haven't either. The only reason I know anything about the Mets because when I was selling HVAC, I sold to one of their pitchers who trains in the off season in Franklin.
Really?
Nashville, yeah. I tried to look him up on here. I did have his number in my phone. Let me pull it up right here.
Yeah, I saw Mookie Betts last night play. He's from the area.
He's a pitcher for them. I can't find their lineup or their.
So football, is there no preseason in football? I guess that's what I was hearing.
Yeah, no preseason in football, and still haven't come out and really given a direct answer on what the crowd's going to look like. It's going to be very little people in the crowd, if any. Maybe not any. We'll see. Steven Matz, this guy right here.
That's crazy, man. So I know the Washington football team is what they're going to be called right now.
I saw that. It's like new name, Washington. Well, I saw where the people who owned the rights to the Redskins website went and took the domain name or bought the rights to the domain name Washington Sentinels. So I don't know if they're just getting all the licensing ready before they put that out. But I read where that leaked from the NFL, and it was leaked from the same people that leaked the Israel Adesanya and God dang, who's he fighting coming up? Acosta. I can't think of his first name. Acosta.
Oh, they leaked that the fight was happening?
Yeah, and Dana White was freaking pissed. Dude came out and was like, guys, I don't even know. They haven't even signed the paperwork yet, guys. Like, yes, that's in the works, but y'all got to stop reporting this stuff before the paperwork's done because then you make me look like an idiot because y'all reported a fight that's not even happening. So, where's he at?
That's crazy. Yeah, man, I keep, every time the fights come on, because I really want to start getting into MMA, dude. Like, I want to know who the people are. I want to know how it works. But I never am home in time or whatever to watch
the fights. It's smart to do because
suck.
you got to believe if it gets shut down again, at least we're still going to have UFC. So you might as well get into it because it's going to be one of the sports that's going to stick because Dana went and bought a freaking island and he'll fly his own people there in his own planes.
Yeah, and it just has minimal. They can test everyone easily. Like, these football players got to get tested every single game like that. That's not free. I don't know.
So what do you think about the local schools? We won't call them out by name, but the local schools, they're about to test every parent. They're only allowed to have a quarter to a third of the people they usually have in attendance. There has to be a seat between each people.
You're talking about like sports-wise?
Sports-wise,
all right, so
sports.
Basically the concession stand is frowned upon.
Yeah.
So no one's probably going to do that. You have to be temperature checked. Everyone to come in has to be temperature checked. You're supposed to have a mask on, and you can only have a third or a quarter of people there.
So that's like one parent player in basketball, pretty much.
Yeah, and remember, this is outside sports they're talking about now. So I don't know what they're going to do about it.
Oh, this is for outdoor? This is for the
This is
White House football?
This is technically for fall sports. So how high school sports are broken down, they're fall, winter, and spring is the three main.
Well, these wrestling tournaments are going to be much nicer for me because they're only going to be able to have one parent in there, so it's going to be not all that crazy.
Or, I don't know, like people say, it's going to have to be some kind of way to test you immediately feedback that's cheap. Like, oh, you got to take this lick test, you take lick test, it's clear, it goes in a trash it bucket. It's not clear, you got to go. Like, that's the way Dana White even said one time he was going to do it. But, I mean, at this point, but in high school, so I don't know how they're going to make money on that, which is fine. But I understand we're after everyone's health, too. But in saying that, it's just, it could cause conflict. There doesn't need to be any conflict.
There's going to be conflict.
Because people are going to be like, I have a health issue, and you're going to let me see my kid play this game. I mean, like, you could see
this is my kid's senior year. His grandparents are going to come watch him play.
You could see, like, some rumblings of that happening when graduations were happening. And it was, like, in the middle of the summertime, and graduations were happening, like, inside, and people were going to have to, like, watch on the TV. You know, that only happens one time, and that's a big deal. I mean, it's not as a big. It depends. I mean, I'll agree. Like different areas, but some places it's a real big deal.
Yeah,
I mean,
it really is.
So, you know, it's just a different time that we're living in right now. I mean, it's very interesting. I mean, I went to the store the other day. Said you're supposed to have a mask, but no one in there working had a mask on. So I'm like in the research mode, and I was just like, "Did y'all's boss say y'all don't have to wear masks?" Or I mean, I'm just asking. Like, I just want to know what they're saying to them, and they were like, "Well, we're supposed to, but we were told not to enforce that if someone came in just to not have conflict. So it's hot back here, and I'm not wearing mine." And I was like, "Oh, well, whatever."
Yeah.
And we got coin shortage going on right now.
Yeah, I'm not buying
Even though I found some 2020 quarters, and other people said that too, and it's like, well, they did that before COVID. And I was like, well, COVID was here pretty early.
You think they stopped the mint because all the bats that were on the 2020 quarters?
That's what I think actually happened. I have one.
Do not print another one of those. We got to get the right mint in there. It is messed up. That's crazy.
I think that it's just.
But sports are back, man. That's. I hope. Yeah. I hope that brings some normalcy to everything. I'm not going to use the words new normal in talking because I feel like they're trying to force that down our throats too. Because if they say that enough, then everyone will just start accepting these things. That I'm okay with some of it, but for a short period of time, I'm not trying to go to all this stuff for the rest of my life.
I'm not going to be China.
No.
And people always say, and I had that comparison said to me, or I just read it and things I was reading. It was like, everyone in China and these other countries wear masks. Yeah, those people are not free.
They're miserable. Go look at their suicide rates compared to the U.S.
It's not free now. Like, not to just go into the political world extremely, but you know, they're like, they took over Hong Kong. They're now denouncing people of Christianity. They're like, not necessarily killing as far as people know when they're putting people on trains and stuff, but they're probably sterilizing at the minimum.
Here's what we should do. This will be the last thing I'll say, political wise. We should take the. I'm not going to name any groups, but we know the people. The ones that are so mad about this country and don't want to live here and want to destroy things and tear things up. Send them to Hong Kong. We'll free the people in Hong Kong that want to be free. Let them come to our country. Do it all right. Make them citizens. We'll just switch those people. They can go live in Hong Kong, wear their mask, do their thing. And we'll take the people that are done living that life in Hong Kong, let them come live here. We'll just switch straight up trade. I would be down with that.
That would be probably a magnificent trade.
Yeah, we get so many smart people over here. Like most of their people are much smarter than a lot of us. It's just true.
It's just the way that they're taught, I guess.
It's true.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, I say they're much smarter than us. They are experts at what they know.
Yeah.
From a young age.
Oh, yeah, they like, remember we had some foreign exchange student that one time from South Korea, and he was like, you decide when you're like 7 years old what you want to be, and then you do that for hours.
Yeah, I wish I could remember his name.
Tom Kim.
Tom Kim. Yes, dude, he gets so mad. It was like, Tom Kim, like hit him on the head. That was like very disrespectful. It's like, no, don't touch my head.
He played soccer with us.
He had a cannon. Remember, he was so slow, hated to run, but like he had decent foot skill and a cannon.
Dude, it's weird. Like, I don't mean to be stereotyping, but there's all types of body shapes. But there's even across cultural, there's body shapes, and he just had that like big Asian body shape.
Yeah.
Like like
wide.
Yes. Just like a raindrop.
Very nice guy. I wish I still knew how to get a hold of him.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Like he wanted to be an ambassador or whatever, so that's why he came to here. Yeah. He like was already new or was studying these different languages.
Very smart guy
and stuff.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Played
man.
a full year of soccer with us.
Yes. It is.
What you got over there, dude? Where you want to
Dude,
go?
man, we can go wherever. I got Nintendo Power over here if you want to do that. Or we can talk. I can just give you a list of tinfoil hat stuff, and you can pick one you might want to learn a little more about.
You want me to talk about my other app I downloaded real quick?
Yes, while we're still on movies, yes. Because
Right.
we've been thinking in our head. And if you have any suggestions, please comment or text us if you're someone who watches all the time.
Movies we haven't seen or haven't talked about that you think we would like.
Or a show on decades, like we'll just do the 80s and we'll talk movies and see where it makes us go and what we think about them or what you need to watch.
Anyways,
Go ahead,
Tyler, you've been telling me to like start making. You're like, dude, you just need to get a list of like every movie ever made. You need to start going through it and checking off the ones you've seen, see how many you can see. Which I also saw a cool thing online today when I was looking at vacation stuff. They had like it was called like 100 movies to watch, like scratch off posters. A poster you could buy had like 100 scratch off squares. You can scratch one like once a week, and you can do like 100 weeks and watch a new movie. I was looking at the movies that were on, and I've seen a lot of them. But anyways, you've been telling me to do that, and it's weird because I got someone on Twitter responded with something where they had ranked movies. Came through our Dabbling Dads Twitter. Someone had ranked some movies like this, and it said, "What app did you use?" And they were like, "Letterboxd." And I immediately went and downloaded it because I was like, "Oh, if he can rank movies like that, I bet it has every movie ever." And it does have every movie ever on here. Free app, and you can go through. I'm gonna just show this.
I bet it's the app when I told you that time about how they're ranking it S, A, or you know what I'm
so
saying?
I just have like my top movies there, and then I went through, and you can mark movies as watched, like movies you've seen. So I went through. I started at 1980. I went earlier, and there was just so many movies I hadn't seen. It was like, let me start with the 80s, and then it's going to take me a while to get from 1980 to 2020, which it did almost all day at work yesterday.
On your lunch.
Yeah, Blake knows. He came and saw me yesterday. He'd probably be the only one to see this. But I went through and did. How do I find it?
Yeah, so I need to do it. I
you?
guarantee you've seen more movies than me, but we've talked about it before, man.
So films watched between 1980 and 2020, 1,537 is what I.
Does it have a quick breakdown of like how many 80s movies? Or is
I wish it did. I was thinking that when I was going through and clicking. I wonder if it'd have a breakdown. Like you saw the most movies from this year.
See if you can search your library.
But this is my.
Go to search and then see if you can
seen.
filter to your library and then do 19. See if it'll let you do a time range.
Oh, year? Yeah, what year you want to see?
It doesn't matter. Do the year you were born.
87. 1980s. Let's go 1987. Done. So the movies I've seen. You want me to tell you the movies I've seen from that 4H? I've seen 16 from the year I was.
Let's just do the years we were born because this would be pretty cool.
All right, so the movies I saw from the year I was born was Empire of the Sun, which I just saw recently with Christian Bale, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, The Running Man, The Princess Bride, Dirty Dancing, Can't Buy Me Love, The Lost Boys we were just talking about, and the guy you were talking about is that guy right there with the sunglasses on. I know exactly who you're talking about now. RoboCop, The Brave Little Toaster, Adventures in Babysitting, Full Metal Jacket, Spaceballs, The Untouchables, Ernest Goes to Camp, The Great Chipmunk Adventure, and Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone. Really, all the movies I had seen from my birth year.
People have been saying this if you actually watched the Levi one because he did a couple movies in your birthday and he nailed pretty much all of those.
Yeah, so 1989 was the year you were born.
I know Back to the Future Part 2 is the one that I know.
So I have seen 4, 8, 12, 16, 18 movies.
You don't have to read all those.
I can read them fast. They're all good.
Okay.
They're great, dude. This time period was incredible. So The Wizard, which is the video game movie. Christmas Vacation, Back to the Future 2, All Dogs Go to Heaven, Prancer, The Little Mermaid, Look Who's Talking, Little Monsters, UHF, The Karate Kid Part 3, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Batman, Dead Poet Society, Indiana Jones The Last Crusade, Field of Dreams, Kickboxer, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and Major League.
Hey, good year, 89, baby.
Yeah, that was a great year. Really good year, man. Has my favorite sports movie ever in it, Major League.
We've talked about that before. You watched the rewatch.
It's got the original Batman. It's got Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. It's got Christmas Vacation, arguably one of the best, funniest Christmas movies out there. Back to the Future 2, the best Back to the Future there is. The Wizard, incredible. Dead Poet Society, incredible Robin Williams movie.
Yes,
Kickboxer, which really put Jean-Claude Van Damme out there. So I'm going to do the year I graduated high school also real quick.
All
while
right.
we're here on it. This is just a cool app. Just to give you an idea of sort of what it is. I can go in here and hit 2006. I can do genre.
We
It
get
is in
some
there.
good.
So the reason I'm not going
recommendations.
to read these, but you remember I worked at the movie theater in 2006, 2007.
Does it tell you how many there are?
I just want you to see this list.
4,
This is 4, 8, 12.
16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, 48, 52, 56, 60, 64, 68, 74 movies in 1 year.
That's when
you've
I was
seen it all time.
I've seen them. Some of those I didn't see that year, but I saw a lot of those at the movie theater. A lot of them. So you were the next year.
That's 72 movies. There's 52 weeks in a year, so I mean, you saw a lot of movies probably made that year. I would like to see if you were close enough to any theatrical released movie in the year 2006. I bet you got to be pretty close.
What do you mean?
One of our biggest tweets of all time was people comparing themselves of how many of those 80 movies that they saw. Remember that?
Yeah.
So I'm saying I would like to know in
So
the
you
year
think if I
2006.
shared that list of 2006 and people respond with how many of these you've seen?
I think if we could find out the number of theatrical released
There's a lot.
movies in 2006.
There's a fucking
Is there
lot.
like 200 movies a year come out? Like,
It's a
that's
lot.
interesting.
I'll show you after this. I'm not going to do it while we're on here, but this is the year you graduated. How many I've seen?
4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, 48, 52, 56, 61. That's a lot of movies.
So the reason I wanted to show that, because I started clicking in my brain, that was the time period where I was like into movies. Like if I would have been making more money at the movie theater, dude, like I loved working on those old school projectors and building. Like the movies would come in like 4, you've seen them before, like film things, and those were separated into like 5 rolls. So they were all numbered like 1, 2, 3, and I had to cut, splice, and build those movies before putting them on the real big roll and then putting it through the projector and then running the movie. So I remember one time I was dicking around, my boss wasn't there, and you're supposed to walk. Those old ones, I'm supposed to just be like walking back and forth up there, making sure
How
all the
many
films.
do you have at a time?
This is Rivergate 8, so we had 8. We had
One person running 8.
Well, we had 7. Our 8th one was one of the first digital ones around in Rivergate. Now it's shut down. It was like the DLP was the big thing, if you remember that. We had one of those, and the other 7 I were all filmed.
You did it by yourself. Right?
Yeah, well, me and my manager, she helped me a lot, but yeah, most of the time I had 2 managers there, both females. They both were real quick at doing it, but once they taught me, I was pretty good at it. So I could thread them real fast and get them. So the movie would end, and I'd immediately like pop, 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 put all the thread through there, get it ready to go. Start it to where it gets to a point, stop it.
Playing again the next time, but you have to reset it.
Old school back in the day. That's why they used to see the spots and shit in the film while you'd be watching it. It's because that film would get wore out. Well, what I was saying is I was screwing around one time with a guy named Daniel Cooper that worked there with me. I still remember him. He lived in Greenbrier. He's my friend on Facebook, but he's my buddy that worked there. And me and him were dicking around doing something. Who knows? And
Send him the podcast.
I will send it to him. But a guy like came out of the movie theater and was like, "Hey man, the movie just like melted off the screen in whichever one he was in." I like took off sprinting up those stairs. Got up there. I had like looped. There was a part when you came down, like you pulled it tight, locked it, and then you had to like make this loop where, because if you kept it pulled tight, it just snapped that. It moved so quick, it just snapped that film. So you want that little loop there to give it a little play. You know, that little piece of, when it came out, that little piece of film would just.
That's amazing. So it's running a film up there. How big
I wish-
compared to this table?
It was large. The projector.
I'll try to put a picture on there, man. I will.
Yeah, I'll pull up a picture of what we were using then. See if I can figure it out.
That's amazing. So when those movies were going on like that, and I guess it's the same way to drive-in
Yeah.
or whatever.
Well, drive-in's probably a little bit. It's a much bigger projector, but probably very similar, man.
Yeah, and just while you're looking that up, like drive-ins now are getting used as like comedy shows, because I listen to a lot of comedians, you know,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And now another way they're getting away with comedy shows is they're trying to call them protests. So you can have protests, and
At the comedy show.
you can legally have more people there.
That's
if
hilarious.
you call it a protest. That's the day that we're living in right now, man.
Let's see.
But that is amazing. Like, you forget sometimes, like, I think that's one thing that all this taught. I know we're kind of moving past that, but this is another job or thing. One, that AI took over, but 2, infrastructure and things that go on behind the scenes that you don't think about. Those people don't have jobs right now. Just different, like movie theaters aren't open. Like you trying to have a little bit of extra money, being a high school kid,
Yeah.
whatever. Like those jobs just don't exist. those concession stand jobs, the working at the dine-in of the fast food.
Yeah.
Like, that's over.
Yep. It truly is.
We will not get to go up after a football game to Taco Bell. Our kids might not get to do that.
Yeah, 35 millimeter projector is what we use. Let me see if I can get a picture.
So that's the width of it. So it's literally like cartoons.
70 millimeter is what IMAX uses.
So it's literally like cartoons, except instead of it being paper being flipped like that so quick, it's like actual, I guess like a Polaroid picture.
Check it like a Polaroid picture.
Is it? I mean, I guess it is. I guess it's like a Polaroid picture, man.
Dang, man, I can't find the exact ones we used, but it was intricate, man. It had like these big spools that it sat on there, so that would constantly move. It fed and then it would feel as it fed back through. It would go on the top round and circle itself back up, and then you'd run it back through.
You'd have to flip it over and run it back through.
I wish I could.
That's
here
amazing.
it is. Here's the inside right here. This is perfect. That's the shit I used to have to thread it through right there. All through those gears and whatnot to make it run through there.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy.
That's pretty cool.
It was fun. It was one of the coolest jobs I've ever had. Least amount of money I've ever made hourly, but like, I love that job. That job was awesome, man.
I remember. I mean, is that where you got a lot of these movie posters?
Some of them. That's where I definitely got some of my movie posters for sure. I used to have a lot more of them. I gave them away to friends and different stuff. I used to have a ton of them. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have on movies. The name of that app is called Letterboxd. Letterboxd. And it's cool. It just helps you
navigate the movies you've seen and movies you
dude.
haven't seen. I bet it can give you suggestions. I bet there's a lot to it.
100%. Yeah.
But yeah, man, because I think you can rank them on there. I think that's probably the app they're using to rank them and tweet them out and different
I'm
stuff.
sure. Yeah, it is. It's the exact app. So you need to get it for sure.
The next electronic that's happening at the Welch household, I already told my wife today, is I'm getting me a phone. I'm a 16 gigabyte phone. I can't even get the update the software without erasing every picture that I have. We just had to buy 2 laptops for them, so
the school?
they have to do school. Just bought her a brand new laptop for her blog because she's trying to blog again. So, I mean, I'm getting myself a new phone. I'm going to be getting me some apps on there.
Yeah, I hear you.
But
I've got them all. It's awesome.
So, we can wrap up movies. Do you want to do Kobe Bryant? Oh, there was one other sports thing I wanted to talk about just because I do listen to him, and we've been saying he's been working out for a long time, and we didn't know who he was going to box, but Mike Tyson.
Yes. Roy Jones Jr.
Didn't Roy
So
Jones
he
Jr.
turned down.
fight
So he turned
everyone?
down. He did turn down though. We had talked that he was going to do the bare knuckle for $2 million. He turned down that contract. He's not. He didn't sign that. End up signing that contract. So he is going to fight Roy Jones Jr. What were you about to ask me? I'm sorry, man.
Roy Jones Jr. had his own video game too.
Mm-hmm. And they fought before.
Oh, they did. It
was after Mike had gotten out of jail. And he wasn't. It was like the worst. Not Roy Jones Jr. beat the shit out of him bad, but like that was the person Roy Jones Jr. always wanted to fight was Mike Tyson. Then he went to jail and he thought he would never get to fight him. And then he got out and he got to fight him and beat the piss out of him. But they're gonna fight. It's like an 8-round exhibition. And
Mike Tyson ain't gone 8 rounds in a long time.
No, but he looks like he's in incredible shape. He looks good, man.
But I listen to his podcast when it's bearable, and he
looks really good.
He just has gone to a lot of dark places and light places, and I like listening to his journey.
Yeah, it's incredible. He's willing to talk about it. Him and Steve-O are very similar in that aspect that they are openly talk about it. It gives you sort of a, even though like we haven't been to the depths they have, we've all been through some shit, and it almost gives you that clarity that everybody's going through it, man. Listen to those guys. They're famous. They've got so much money, but like they
struggle every day.
Way worse. Like probably
Dax
way
Shepard
worse than I
is another
struggle.
one. If you like podcasts, Dax Shepard, if you like learning things, his armchair expert, I do it on our Twitter all the time. The way they do a fact check afterwards. But Dax Shepard had alcoholic life, grew up with his mom only raising him. Like, everybody's been through that, and people have success stories no matter what. But he struggles every day. He still wakes up every day and writes down 3 things he's grateful for. Like you got to work that program or whatever it is once that saves your life.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I mean, it's fun to listen to, and I'm glad you got me into podcasts because instead of just wasting away
and learn a lot of stuff.
Big.
But yeah, so Mike Tyson's fighting Roy Jones Jr.
Who's the pre-fight?
Nate Robinson, who was the NBA player, a little short NBA player, won the NBA Slam Dunk contest at least once, maybe twice. Is fighting Jake Paul, the YouTube sensation guy.
What is Jake Paul's videos? What would you describe?
They were doing like pranks and stuff, like walking up on the people and doing pranks. But now he's just a famous guy that does crazy stuff and makes videos of him. Now he's boxing, and don't get me wrong, like he's not a bad boxer. He's already fought 2 times, and he lost 1, won 1. He's not bad. He knows how to box. But Nate Robinson, that guy's scrappy. I'm interested.
It's gonna be interesting to see, man. I can't wait.
I think we'll have to watch it. Yeah, I think we'll have to watch it.
We'll figure out a way to watch it. We always
buy
do.
it.
Yeah, we might have to. So, let's do Nintendo Power, man.
All right, yeah.
So I reached in pretty randomly here, but we brought him up a few times, and baseball was starting, so I did at least look at the cover.
Is this the N64 one? Yeah. That's the N64 King Griffey. So yeah. After he had already done the Super Nintendo game,
and we had Madden up for sports.
You won't get to hear the video game part until after this one. Go check it out on the Levi Dabble. But I was talking about video games like I knew what I was talking about. I was inebriated. So if I start sounding like I'm talking like I know what I'm talking about, just know I don't. But I do know that I remember when it came on 64, you could do a bunch of crazy stuff, putting codes and on that one.
Yeah, so in this one they also talk about Pokemon, and I know we talked about me and Pokemon a lot, but like Pokemon for Game Boy was a game, man, that when my mom would be staying up at the school real late or just hanging out or this, that, and the other, it was something that I always had with me. And Pokemon was something that, so I didn't have no brothers or nothing like that, so Pokemon was something like my mom did with me. My mom just like supported whatever interest I had, and she would just run off on that interest with me. And whether it was playing chess, board games, Pokemon, G.I. Joe, man. So like a lot of the cool stuff that I have is really just contributed to her. So it's almost like a hoarder. But there was Pokemon in here, and it was just like showing the Game Boy part, and it was like nostalgic.
Which one is that? Red?
For me, I think it is red.
Red was the only one I played, I believe.
I think I brought it up another time, but green is the actual original, which was in Japan.
Okay.
Or maybe I was thinking about it when I was watching their podcast, because they explained why Final Fantasy skipped numbers, which I didn't know, which was pretty cool. But Pokemon Green with Bulbasaur.
You're talking about Whiskey Bros?
Video
Whiskey
game
Bros,
podcast?
Sorry. Yeah, you're good.
And Green was actually the original one in Japan, and it never even came out in America. That's why if everyone's wondering, like, why is there not a Venusaur when there's a Charmander?
I played Pokemon when I was older because my cousin had it and let me borrow it. That's the only reason I ever played it.
I was obsessed, dude. I played it way too much. It really helped me build up for Final Fantasy games, though, because you have to kind of grind. But we've brought up a game many, many times on here, GoldenEye. And dude, I just want you to flip through this, and you can say what it is, but this is the 1997 award-winning games. So they had all kinds of scenario, whatever. It's like the best graphics, the best sound, the best challenge. And just read them out loud and which game won it for the year of 1997. It's unbelievable.
All right. So this is 1997 Nintendo Power Awards, and the winners are Best Graphics, GoldenEye 007. Best Sound, GoldenEye 007. Best Challenge, GoldenEye 007. Most Innovative, GoldenEye 007. Best Story, GoldenEye 007.
It just shows you how great that game
Best
was.
Play Control, GoldenEye 007. Best Racing Game, Diddy Kong Racing.
Yeah, because it was after Mario.
So, God, he blew out the first page. They all GoldenEye also got Best Party Game since Twister. It's because it had the split screen game you could play. Quit looking at my screen. Best Hero or Heroine, James Bond, GoldenEye. Worst Villain, Janice, GoldenEye 007. What are the other games? Best Sports Game was Quarterback Club 98. That's pretty cool. The Golden Rumble Pack, I guess that was the best game for the Rumble Pack. Star Fox won that. Best Weapon, the Golden Gun. Best Game Boy game was Donkey Kong Land 3 that year. And the best N64 was obviously GoldenEye 007. So yeah, that was a good one, man. Yeah,
man, it's just crazy, dude. I just thought that it was an amazing thing when I opened it up and I just saw that GoldenEye took the cake. Yeah. It was a great game. I just remember, I know you were a PlayStation person, and I brought this up the other night too, but it's like, I just remember taking that controller to your friend's house.
Yeah.
Then they had it, because no one had 4 controllers. But 1080 Snowboarding, Yoshi's Story, all those movies on there. But I really brought it because baseball was beginning again.
Yeah. And I put Madden up. Football's not really starting yet, but basketball is. They've started playing some exhibition games and scrimmages is what they're calling them, but the season starts real soon. So are they doing the same thing as NHL? Do you know, Tyler? Are they just having like a tournament to get into the playoffs? Or
for what?
Like the NHL's doing like a...
No, the NHL, I think they just opened it up to, it is the playoffs starting now, but it's like...
It's like a play-in to the playoffs, I believe.
I think the last 6 teams didn't get in.
Oh, okay.
Or something like that.
I got you. I saw where Seattle just got a hockey team too. I don't remember what they're called.
And something else that's cool about people who don't know about Nintendo or did know about it, They have like the classifieds parts where they have the codes and all of that. Like it's a fun game. Banjo-Kazooie was in here too, which we talked about a few times. It just could never, in my opinion, it never could catch Mario. Like Banjo-Kazooie. Like it tried to do its own little thing. I don't think you ever played it either because you were more Sony.
Mm-mm.
But, and then this is random, but have you played the new Crash Bandicoot on the...
Yeah, I got it. It's got all three of them.
Fun,
it's just hard because you're playing with when you play, you can play with a directional pad, the D-pad, which is what you played with on the original PlayStation. There was no joystick on the original PlayStation controller. So you played with the D-pad. Playing with the joystick is hard because it's just much touchier. The game was not meant to be played with that touchy of a controller, I don't think. So it's weird. It's different. I do like it. It's fun. Kenny likes to play it. But what else was I gonna say? Dang, man, I was thinking I had a thought in my brain I wanted to bring up. Big Brother's actually gonna happen. We haven't talked about that in a while. We haven't talked about any kind of reality television because it hasn't been happening. Survivor has canceled, and we probably won't see Survivor for over a year.
But we're gonna talk a little bit of Big Brother.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it? So it's like Big Brother All Stars.
It's gonna be Big Brother All Stars. It starts.
I hope Paul is on there.
He probably will be. I would almost guarantee.
He's one of the best players I've ever seen.
I would almost guarantee. I hope Derek Levasseur is on there.
I bet Vanessa's on there because she didn't win.
Yeah, we'll see. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
So supposedly they're like already quarantined.
Yeah, they gotta be because it starts on the 8th of next month. They've gotta already be quarantined.
They were quarantined for like 14 days.
Yeah.
And
No, it starts on the 5th of next month. 8/5. Yeah.
And they got tested. It's 500,000 to the winner.
So we did the what was it? What did we call?
What reality are we in?
What reality are we in? We did that with just 2
survivors. Yeah.
The right before the finale, and then we did one for the finale. We'll probably do Big Brother comes on like 4 nights a week, so I don't know how we'll break that down yet. But if you're into Big Brother, we're definitely into it also. I'll have to start taking notes now while watching because it'll be I don't know, that might be something we have to watch together.
Yeah, but the best part is where you know the production part. We don't have to go into your whole Redneck Island today because I mean I'm sure we can listen to 20 or 30 minutes of it, but we can still save it until we get closer to that actual Big Brother time if you want, man.
Oh, we can. How much you got left on your list?
I don't know. Where are we at? We're probably right at an hour right now, so we could do a Mamba Mentality, and then I was going to let you pick a tinfoil hat.
Yeah, let's do that. I'll come back to Redneck Island. We'll talk about my whole experience. Like, they sequester you anyways, so like I'm not surprised that they're putting them away. It's easy. They do that anyways. When you get picked to be on the show, I won't go deep into. I'll tell the whole story at some point, but like when you're being casted and they fly you out there, you're not allowed to see anyone else that's being casted or who's going to be in the show with you because they don't want you game planning before it starts. But so I'm not surprised they're doing that. But I bet they've had them for a while. I bet they've been by themselves for a good bit. But yeah, I'll read Mamba Mentality. Basketball is coming.
Yes, I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be intense. I think it's going to be right to it. Everybody should be healthy. And I don't know if it's possible or not. I haven't looked into it enough, and I feel bad for even speaking on it. But are the Warriors still... Is they going to do like a mini season or something? Is Klay Thompson going to be ready to play?
I'm not sure. I don't know. We'll see. I'll say, just to say this before I do this, I did see a thing today where it looks like the Hawks are the main team interested in LaMelo Ball. If he gets in that front court with Trae Young, man, that's going to be a dangerous, fun front court
game
to watch.
Yeah,
that's going to be a fun team to watch. I usually just do it. I'm going to do this one about winning because they're about to start playing sports, and I love to win, and I just want to... Some people are... I don't understand why people... the main people I see saying it on my Facebook page, and I don't care because I'm going to say it because I don't know that any of them watching this. They are. If you take offense to this, I'm sorry. But like it's mainly like the main like car guys, like guys that are really into cars. I always just feel like they need to bash people for liking sports and enjoying sports and doing all this. They just always have something to say negative when it comes to sports. It drives me insane, but... If you never competed in sports and you didn't really get to feel the joy of working your ass off and winning something, like even if you didn't win something, if you got the joy of just the camaraderie, the brotherhood of playing sports or the sisterhood or whatever you want to call it of sports, you probably just don't understand. Maybe that's just where they're coming from.
A lot of people, that makes me think of a lot of people ask me, because I play 2 college sports, golf and basketball. A lot of people ask me, which one do you love more? Which one do you like more? And it's so different because about basketball, I love the locker room.
Yeah.
I love hanging out with those guys and being, like you said, a camaraderie and part of something bigger than yourself to win. It's just
nothing like it.
And that's what makes individual sports hard, though, too, though. You got to have that mindset of it's all for you, and you got to have this drive where it's actually easier to me to wake up at 5 in the morning and go to a workout that I know all the other players are going to be at, because that's something you affect them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's easier to get that drive, I feel like, where it's hard to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go hit 1,000 tennis balls.
So there's some people that just don't understand, but like, I watch sports still because I get joy watching the teams I pull for and cheer for and spend money on, and I get pure joy watching them win. I just do. I'm not involved at all. I know I don't help the outcome of the game. I can go to those Titans games and scream as loud as I can. I really don't affect the game at all. I don't.
Sometimes you do
As a
on
single
3rd
person.
and 5, baby.
I mean, I've gotten pretty crazy in there.
3rd and 5.
I've gotten at least my area pretty wild in there a couple times. I really have. That used to be my thing. Obviously, me and you both. Levi mentioned that actually. I forgot we talked about him talking about us painting up, and we were like us and our buddy Chase, God rest his soul, used to be the ringleaders of our little paint up crew at school. So we've always been about just competition. Even if we weren't playing, we were about being there and being loud. And I remember when y'all played Good Pasture that year in was it Good Pasture?
Region Championship?
Yes, dude, and we had the whole front line painted up. That place was wild that night. But I just love that stuff. This is about
winning.
This is about winning. Kobe Bryant's words.
Sure.
Winning championships is everything. It's really one of the greatest joys on this planet. That feeling drove me to always want more. When I won one ring, I wanted two. When I won two, I wanted three. I think that drive stemmed from being part of a rebuilding process. After struggling for a few years and working to reach that pinnacle, once I reached it, I wanted to achieve more. I never wanted to experience the still familiar feeling of defeat again. The agony of defeat is as low as the joy of winning is high. However, they are the exact same to me. I'm at the gym at the same time after losing 50 games as I am after winning a championship. It doesn't change for me.
Dude, all I hear there is just a real nice way of saying you got to strive to get better even when you're the best.
Yep.
You just got to get better.
Yep.
I try to instill that in some of my sons. It's like, whatever you're doing, man, there's someone out there working harder than you are. I mean, there is no plateau for people like Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
It's just, boom, better,
I'm going to read the
better.
quote one more time.
Yeah.
The agony of defeat is as low as the joy of winning is high. And that's so true, man. That's part of like why I love sports. I'm about to mark this page because that quote is incredible. It's true. That's why I'm still addicted to it. That's why I love coaching. That's why I'm not out there doing it. Like, I coach wrestling, so it's very individual. But I get more joy watching one of those kids get their arm raised than I ever got competing.
Same, dude. When we win, or even if it's Little League Baseball, I'm out there like, yeah, man, let's go.
It's hard not to get like that.
That's just how I am, man. I'm a competitor, and that's what people don't realize too. And I disagree some with those players who are like, oh, we need a crowd. This and no, y'all don't. Y'all need a crowd. One of the greatest games ever played, according to some of the greatest players who ever played, was a scrimmage at the USA before they were the USA team, when they had that scrimmage. Is supposedly one of the best basketball games anybody ever saw.
Oh yeah, when it was the Dream Team.
The Dream Team.
Yeah.
The gold medal team.
Yeah, that's an incredible. That little excerpt from that documentary where they talk about that game. I
Well,
wish
they
I
don't
could
need
play
no
it
crowd.
right now, but we'll post the link. If you've never seen that, it's Barkley talking, it's Jordan, it's Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson was the ringleader for a long time, and Michael Jordan was there to prove the point that it was his team. He was
the best.
He
now.
was the GOAT. He was the guy.
I love it when the best go against the best.
Yeah.
And some people forget, I mean, I watch all sports. Emily's like, I just love how you know all sports. Like last night I knew Mookie Betts, and I don't watch a lot of baseball. It's like, well,
Tennessee
I'm going to
boy.
keep up with it.
Yeah.
And it's like tennis. Male tennis is the best that it's been. I mean, it's starting to reach the end. But when you had Federer and Nadal and I can't think of his name right now, but the Serbian guy, dude, it was some of the best just competition. It was the finals every time, but I watched it every time. Just like Serena Williams. I like watching the best do the best. That's why it's weird when you reach that pinnacle of the best, especially in individual sports, and Michael Jordan did it there. You become the villain, but then you get past the villain, and everybody starts cheering for you.
LeBron is in that stage right now.
Tiger
I
Woods
believe.
was in that stage.
Yeah.
I feel like Federer, Pete Sampras. You get in that stage where you're the villain, everybody wants to beat you, but they can't. And then everybody just cheers for you. The fucking Patriots are that way.
That's true.
You'll see this year, Tom Brady, everyone's going to still be cheering for Tom Brady. They're a dangerous team. I really believe that. He's just, like you just read, he is a winner.
Yeah.
Some people are winners.
Yeah. Big
And
time.
I like watching them on TV.
Man, I had saved something I wanted to show you. I'm looking for. I can't. I thought I saved it yesterday. and
But
it's not
something
at the
else
top of
about
my
that quote
list.
that I really liked is he basically said he cares deeply about winning and losing, but it doesn't change his next day. His next day, he's still acting like he wants the championship, or he won the championship, or he lost the championship. His next day, he is winning that day. And that's what it comes down to. You got to win every day. And if you can put that to like your real life, win every day. I think taking my new vitamins is me winning every day. Whether it's putting up a little piece of laundry, those small wins can get you out of ruts and things like that. And I just believe you can get on this positive train.
Yeah.
And you just barrel down through it. And the more you're aware and breathing and all that, man. So do you want me to give you some tinfoil hat things that we can watch just for fun?
Yeah.
Because I know some people text me and call me now, and it's like, hey, man, what are you researching? And it's like, man, there's a lot of stuff that is so far out there that I would never just say unless it was me and someone talking.
Yeah.
But just I'll give a broad stroke of all of these, and you can just pick one, and we'll go down that hole a little bit. The last one that I listened to, and this comes from Sam Tripoli, Tinfoil Hat, but I've also created a Twitter space where I follow all the guests that he's had on there and these independent researchers. So I get to see all kinds of wild things, man.
Yeah.
But, so, that we live in a simulation.
Okay.
I already talked about the protest legal comedy shows. Or ancient civilizations. Those are not too far, and they're not too political either.
Let's go.
Or a little flat Earth, if you want to talk a little flat Earth.
No. Let's go with life is a simulation.
Life is a simulation. All right, so there is a guy on Tinfoil Hat. His name is Johnny Woodard, and he is like his producer. And he truly believes that we are in a simulation. Just like that movie Jumanji, the guy who's in the car driving, he's what's that called?
Welcome to Jumanji.
Yeah. You have to ask
like an AI character.
Like an AI or a non-controlled character, or an NCP or something like that.
AI is what they call them.
Yeah, and something that's just interesting to think about is like it has a different skin is what he used, kind of like a Fortnite or whatever, but people who are sociopaths, they show that same behavior, and it's like no one is actually there, and he claims that they are just NCPs, non-controlled characters or whatever, and they're in these different, it's like a program being ran, and that's how. And they believe during this thing in there. And once again, this is not things I believe. It's just fun to sci-fi movies, dude. It's just like, and then if you want
people believe it's fun to talk about because people believe this in real life.
Yeah, and it has like they have explanations for everything. The more you look into like flat Earth, even or the simulation. So these non-controlled players or whatever could be. They, not to get political, but like someone like even Shaven, as blanked out as he did. And sometimes when you go into the conspiracy world, as you dive deeper, it always comes back to the spiritual world. So it's like, oh, well, these non-characters, the spiritual world would say these people are possessed. Where instead, the simulation world, they say that they are a program that is running. So let me get to the actual notes real quick, because I gotta get to it. Hold on. So another thing that he was saying in there about it was about the simulation was, so the reason that the sky looks curved is because it's easier for the huge computer or whatever that's driving the simulation. And then he also said it could be from our consciousness. So he was just like showing things. He wasn't stating them as fact. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So he was kind of a realistic person who believed in this simulation. Midnight Mike, here he is. So he was like, it's easier to render a curved sky. You see it in video games all the time. Like when you're playing Halo, it looks like you're in a spherical realm. Okay. And that's easy to render for someone. So one of the coolest things that I wanted to just dabble into is one of their explanations of people disappearing. So the same story when it happens in the movies or in real life, someone disappears into thin air. It's usually around water or out in a huge landscaped area. Right? It's like people get lost in the woods. People get lost in the mountains. And they just disappear off the face of the earth. They're gone.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, where are they at? What happens? And this guy's justification for this was the computer, because it always happens, like people are together and they get split up. Hey, I'll meet you back at this point or whatever. And then they're gone and they disappear forever. And it's called the 411 Project, I think is what it was called. Missing 411 or something. And it's this whole study into it. So I'm just going to give you the broad part of it because I didn't dive into it that much. We're dabbling. And basically the computer for energy, or it can only, some people say that's why half the world sleeps, is because it can't run everybody and render everybody at the same time. So that's why you eventually have to sleep. But the disappearance of the 411 is the computer or the simulation decides this is going to take too much RAM or too much energy or whatever to render this beautiful landscape and this running water over the human program. So it's not going to waste that beautiful landscape for one person. So it eliminates the person. And they're gone. So we just think they disappear because that's our understanding of it. But really, the simulation just ended for them because it wasn't gonna. Instead of rendering all of that landscape and all that stuff, it just shuts them down.
Yeah.
Because then it doesn't have to show the landscape. Kind of like the old, if a tree falls when no one's listening, can you hear it?
Yeah.
Maybe not. The tree might not never fall in this simulation world. So instead of rendering all that landscape, it just shuts down that person. They disappear forever, and they're like, well, it might just reprogram them into another base.
That's crazy. To think about, really. I'm sorry, I'm texting Eric because she grabbed me something to eat.
No, you're fine. So, they talked about dreams. Like, dreams are pieces of program that you just kind of remembered. So it takes it a little bit out of your life, or just programs that are stored deep in there. So when you're dreaming, it just puts you in this auto dream. And he claimed that before you go to bed every night, if you say, I'm going to remember my dreams, you'll start remembering your dreams. And then Johnny Woodard was like, yeah, but isn't sleeping like a way for us to download that information while we're sleeping to get rid of it, so then the next day we come back up? So they were just having good...
Interesting. That's a weird way to think about that, really. Do you need to remember your dreams? Or do you dream because you're removing that stuff from your brain?
Man, it's not having
weird.
to
As a kid,
create.
I used to have it's weird to think about, because when I was a kid, I had a recurring nightmare. Like, I probably told you about it before, but like, I'd leave my grandmother's back door, I'd be like halfway to my parents' house, white van would pull in just like off the movie Ransom with Mel Gibson, and a kidnapper would come out, be like walking to me. I could never run away. I'd always wake up in the middle of the night, be like terrified in my room. I would have that same dream over and over. So I wonder if like I saw that movie and that was my brain trying to remove it from my conscious, or I don't know. I used to be terrified.
People
of
in the
being
religious
kidnapped.
world, remember I said it always goes back to the religious world. They diagnose dreams and say it's like relating to your life and problems that you're going through, which connects to kind of a simulation, like if it's replaying how you understood something or whatever. And how he explained it in the spiritual world was whenever you're typing on a program or a computer, and I'm not a good programmer by any means, I'm listening to experts.
No, we know him.
Yeah, and when you type in like google.com, you're like sending a signal to a bigger server, a request. You're sending a request to that server, right? So I want to get Google. So it says, okay, this is the request, this is the chain. Mm-hmm. So then Google pops up on your phone. So you're actually sending a request, and it's like a connection to the bigger server. So in religion, they believe that people like Jesus or Buddha or the Hindu person, they are one of those like servers, and the religion is the way to communicate or request something. And now we just call that like praying or whatever. So this is explained in the simulation world. So like I said, it always connects to the spiritual world. So that was one of the crazy things. So like when you're using religion, you're sending a request to that higher being or whatever to get it. And that's why people who believe in like this, and I like, you know me, man, I've said this many times in here, I like to connect things.
Yeah.
So when I'm hearing them say this about religion, they talk to those people, it's like sending a request. I start like connecting together those things just naturally, and it makes it make sense, but even though you're talking about something different, and it's fun to just dive into it and think about it that way. It's so crazy.
I mean, I probably would have that time if I used it towards that. I don't. I'm glad you do, because then you can tell me about it. So
yeah, then, you can dive into it deeper if you really want to. That's really what we talk about.
Something tickles my fancy. I guess I could jump down it. I know what you're saying.
But it's crazy to think about just that in general, because it's like you are sending something to that. So okay, last thing I want to say, and people who have like positive way of thinking, they always say to do what?
What do you mean?
Like if you want something to happen, you want to manifest it, the first step is to what?
Pray for it?
Not necessarily pray for it, but people say write it down. You write down your to-do list, your goals. This guy says when you write that down, you are putting it into the simulation. And it can't be like something on your list like I want to be president, but if you started that simulation like that was your goal and you really did everything to do that, he believes if you write it down, you have now put it. It's like sending a request, almost. It's pretty interesting to think about it just crazily like that. But the missing person thing is crazy, and that's called the missing 411. And then he said, look into something called the Philip experiment. So if you want to
I think the missing person is more than likely in an underground cave system, or I was at some point, is in some sort of trafficking ring. But that's another topic for another day.
That's a little different than
But yeah, that's craziness. That's weird to think about. I mean, I played the shit out of Sims. Me and Ron played Sims for hours. Alicia called it perfectly the other night. The code to get unlimited money. I can't remember what it was. She knew it. Rosebud,
yes.
something. She named it immediately. It's like, yes, you're a true Sims fan.
Yeah, man. So this has been fun. We busted out another one.
Yeah, it's probably a shorter one, but that's cool. I mean, we're to the point now that when we're recording, we're trying to start to stockpile some stuff. That way, when I'm going on vacation in about 3 weeks, we can be throwing stuff out there still, and there not be. I think we went 1 week when you were gone that we had one, and that's because Tyler does the uploading. I wasn't even gonna begin to try to get on his computer and figure it out. So we just took that 1 week off, and it was good for us because as soon as he got back, we knocked out if you count Levi's as 2, 4 podcasts within a 2-day time.
And we appreciate everybody that's listening,
Yeah.
and even if you download on iTunes, we appreciate that. We're reaching 500 total downloads.
Yeah, and we've talked to multiple different people that we grew up with, some that have went off and done their own thing, and if they've recently moved back. My brother.
Just to shout him out, Jay Ramey. Jonathan Ramey, we're going to have him on here.
Do you know his Twitch handle?
His Twitch is Juicebox6.
Spelled exactly like Juicebox?
Yeah, Juicebox6. I got it right here. Hold on. It's ITS Juicebox6 y'all. YALL. So it's Juicebox6 y'all. And he plays some video games on there, and he'll talk about anything.
Dabbles.
He dabbles.
It's literally what it is. I listened to him the other night, and he was literally doing what we're doing right now.
Live.
Quarantined in his garage live with his message board. So it was pretty cool. We grew up with him. He was my brother's age. His mom taught with Tyler's mom and my grandmother all at the same school, so we all grew up around each other. And
we're going to do a wrestling one real soon.
Yeah, if you're into and when we say wrestling, not the kind of wrestling coach, but like WWE /
Got a storm
rolling in on us. I don't know if you can hear that or not on the recorder. I'm sure you can, but yeah, we grew up big into wrestling. My brother stayed into it for a long time. He's not as much into it now, but we want to talk about some old school wrestling stuff that people our age probably be into. Attitude Era.
The Rock, Mankind, Undertaker.
All the best stuff.
You know, nostalgic things.
Cool. But anyways, dude, we'll do it again soon.
Yep.
Thanks for listening.
See
Catch
y'all
you next
later.
time.